Say
Hi
hi.
everyone.
Hey.
Hello.
Howdy.
Hello, everyone. Hopefully, guys can hear our voices and the music. If you guys feel like the music is too loud or quiet, please let us know. It's nice to see everyone again. This is our second live stream. Our first live stream was pretty epico. But yeah, for everyone who's new, this is the entire Last Legacy team. The entire Last Legacy team, artists, writers, everyone. We're just 5 people. Very small, tiny team. Very cute, bite-sized. And so, basically, we're just gonna talk about Last Legacy and all that kind of stuff. Our first live stream was pretty fun, right? We had a lot of fun. Showing off, like, concept art and all that kind of stuff. But I guess the first thing we should do is introduce ourselves for people who haven't met us yet. Dev, do you want to start?
Yeah, I'll get started. Hi everyone, I'm Dev. I'm the creator of Last Legacy. I wrote Sage chapters 1 through 7, and I wrote all of Felix. I'm so excited to see everyone today. My avatar is a fox boy. His name is Emrys, and he's terrible.
I feel like all of Hero Cs have a level of terribleness to them.
This is slander. I write characters who aren't terrible.
Listen, I just
you know
how
believe.
they yeah, you know how they say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree?
Oh my god. Why is it every time you
No.
stream? Oh my gosh, I'm being attacked here.
Not like a terrible in like a bad way. I mean like chaotic.
Okay, like garbage.
No, I'm not calling. Okay, you know what? Let's move on. Anyways,
I'm a dumpster fire. Nice to meet you. Woohoo!
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Lulu. I'm one of the writers on Last Legacy. Currently, I do Anissa. And pronouns she, they. This character that you see bouncing up and down is my Final Fantasy XIV OC named Reese. Also very chaotic. I think there's a trend on this team to like chaotic characters, but we can talk about that later. Grace.
Hi everyone, my name's Grace, she, her pronouns. I picked up Sage after from chapter 8 onwards. Let's see here, my avatar is my cat, who is, yeah, I guess we're following the chaotic trend. He can be kind of chaotic. He's fast asleep right now, and hopefully he won't try to knock anything over during the stream.
It's like every meeting, at least once, your cat knocks something over on your desk.
Yeah, it's not the best cat-proof setup.
Yeah, get the piss. Maybe he'll wake up and he'll come in.
No, do not wake the
don't
beast.
wake him up.
Oh, no.
Yeah, okay, we should calm down the piss, otherwise Battle Sprite Sage is gonna come back. Everyone's favorite.
You're gonna summon
Put him
the
away.
cat.
Yeah, Sage is gonna show up. Oh shit. I mean, crappies. Sorry. Listen, we're trying not to cuss that much, alright? If I say something, if any of us say anything, pretend you didn't hear it. We're very, family friendly. Right? Hika, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Hika. I am the background artist for Last Legacy. I also do graphics work, and occasionally I help out with character design. Occasionally, and also like I do graphic stuff like trailers and all that stuff. Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, and my character is Calliope, and she's my FF14 character as well. Cause
High five!
Wahoo!
That was me making a high five sound.
Oh yeah, here.
Just
I'll do
high-five
it with you.
yourself?
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
2, 3. Nice.
Ciel.
Yeah, hi, I'm Ciel. Pronouns are they, them, and I do the character sprites and illustrations for Last Legacy. My avatar is my D&D character, Ferris.
Awesome. I mean, yeah, so we have a lot of appreciation for the artists in chat. Yeah, Hika and Ciel are seriously some of the most talented people on the planet. I love them so much, and every time they post a sketch for anything, I just kind of, how do I say it? Explode.
Yeah. So, if we didn't have Hika and Ciel, Last Legacy would be a bunch of smiley faces and stick figures on screen, and I just don't think it'd be as appealing.
I don't know. Well, no, I'm just joking. Yeah. I don't know if anyone has
I'd
made
play
a
it.
stick figure. Yeah, I'd play a stick figure VN, but I don't know about anyone else. But yeah, awesome. Oh, wait, have I linked the first live stream? So on our first live stream, I guess I should talk a little bit about what we have planned today. But today we're gonna show a lot of behind the scenes stuff. We have an announcement. We're doing a Q&A, all that kind of stuff. A lot of the questions that we got on our Curious Cat, we actually already answered during our first live stream. So instead of rehashing a lot of it, I'm just gonna link you guys our first one. It's on YouTube. So, just like last time, this stream is gonna be archived on Twitch for 2 weeks, and then we're gonna upload it to YouTube. So even if you miss the stream, or if you have to go early, you can always watch the rest later. But yeah, so for a lot of questions, go ahead and check out the Q&A from the last stream. But I mean, so much has happened since the last stream that we have a lot planned, a lot to talk about. I don't know, things have been kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, we've been busy. For those of you who have been following us on Twitter, you'll know that we've been featured in our first expo. We were a part of the Game Devs of Color Direct. A couple of us were there during the direct, and we did see some of you in the chat. It was really, really cool. Thank you for showing up. It was super,
Yeah,
super
it
cool
was
to
so
see you guys
awesome.
cheering for us. It was very, very sweet.
It was so cool to like just experience, because we were really excited about the trailer too. So oh yeah, well we're just gonna show you guys the trailer. Hika made it from scratch with their little amazing god hands, right?
Yeah, it's really cool.
Blood and sweat all over this gorgeous
literally-
trailer.
We were like, I guess we have to make a trailer or something, and Hika was like, I got it. And then they like pooped out the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. So I guess for people who didn't get to watch the trailer, we should play it right now. But I'm gonna mute us, and then we're gonna go watch the trailer, okay? So, here's... Wow! Amazing! Was
So
it
Look
good?
at that.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I have watched that trailer at least 50,000 times since Hika has made it.
Oh my god.
It's so good! Are you kidding? The anime vibes, it felt like I'm watching an isekai. I'm like, well, it is an isekai, but like, I was like, whoosh, whoosh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think my favorite part was animating Stella, like using some motion graphics to actually make her come to life was really exciting. That was
Yeah,
really
that
fun.
was so sick. I don't know how you did it. And this is like the first,
Stella
this is the first
ears.
trailer you've made.
Mm-hmm, it is, yeah.
Are you kidding?
I studied a
believe
lot
this?
of visual novel trailers, though. I think
You
I
guys
watched
believe
like
this?
over 100.
the first trailer Hika ever made, and they blessed us with this God's gift. I don't know. That's kind of messed up.
Thank you.
But yeah, okay. So, I guess we should get into it. Like I said, we had a lot planned, so I'm gonna give you guys a brief overview of what we're gonna do. So first, we're gonna go into our announcement, right? We're gonna talk about the announcement, do a little bit there. Then, just like last time, we're gonna go to like a drawing screen, and you guys get to watch Hika and Ciel do their thing and work on some pieces. And then the first thing is before Q&A is I actually asked you guys to send a lot of cursed questions to us via Curious Cat. I don't know if you guys are on Twitter, but I was like, y'all, I'm about to surprise this team and bombard them with cursed questions and see how they react. So we're gonna do that first. It's gonna be a speed round of cursed questions, and then after that, we're gonna get into Q&A. And I was thinking, let me know what you guys think. I was thinking that we could also talk about the last 2 Sage and Felix chapters because they were very, very big, important chapters. And I figured we'd have spoiler warning on screen and stuff like that, and we could like have a little jam sesh of discussing. So don't put any spoilers right now in the chat, but I thought that would be a fun thing to do. But yeah, so that's kind of the overview of what I think would be fun for today. So a lot busier than the last stream, but we're really excited. We have so much stuff to show you guys. We were looking forward to the stream for a really long time, you know? But yeah. So I guess...
I hope that...
Yeah, go.
I was say, I just hope that everyone here, you know, has like put their seatbelts on because none of us know how to drive, and there is no speed limit.
Right, exactly.
Or maybe there
My
is. I can't
goodness.
read.
Okay, so I guess the first thing we do is announce our announcement. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, do it.
All just like crickets.
I don't know. Okay. Well, okay. So, we did show you guys a teaser on socials, but our announcement is, can I get a drum roll from everyone on the team? And Bazinga!
Wow!
Wow!
Yeah, so just to give a quick introduction, we got to work with a amazing artist named Loar online. I believe they go by Loa. They are a fantastic artist and we love their style, so we decided to contact them and get some Halloween charms made of our favorite Lost Legacy characters. And as you can see here, we have Rhyme merch! Shout out for Rhyme!
Yeah!
Our favorite knife boy!
Yeah,
and
it's our
so
first rhyme merch. Huh?
yeah, I think Loa did a good job. What do you guys all think?
That thing
Yeah.
looks sexy.
Yeah.
That Rhyme's knife looks delicious.
If you're looking at Rhyme's knife, I'm looking at Rhyme's fluffy tail.
Oh yeah, that's a never before seen, you know, the tail.
Scandalous. Yeah.
But yeah, the really exciting thing about this is that just like we keep having firsts for this team, and this is our first time we've ever got to collaborate with an external artist. And it just feels like a really big moment because it's like, wow, because of you guys and because of your support, we actually get to do stuff like this where we can work with an artist that we really, really love and see them bring our characters to life. And so the redacted announcement is like, it's the first time we're ever working with someone externally, and that's really, really, really cool. So thank you guys so much for all of your support and for like, you know, being a part of the community, because if it wasn't for you, we would never have been able to like pursue this project and stuff like that. So yeah. Does anyone want to talk about like the details of the charms? We don't have that many, but like we can give them an idea of what to expect.
Yeah, so these are seasonal charms. They're not going to be part of like the permanent store offerings, and they'll be available around late October. They're going to be around $12, I think. So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, not permanent, but you'll be able to order them hopefully in the next few weeks. So very, very cool. I'm gonna zoom in. Okay, here we go. Meow.
Yeah.
Wow, look at them.
Wow! Look how good they look!
They're so gorgeous. The attention to detail and Rhyme's abs,
Rhymes abs.
Outstanding.
His only redeeming quality is his abs.
His abs.
Excuse me. Oh my gosh.
I think the tail and the blep are also quite redeeming.
Yeah.
I do like the bleb. It is pretty cute.
He's an angel. What can I say? Oh, he's so perfect. He's never done anything wrong in his life.
Right. That's not
Yeah,
blood.
I'm
that's
sure.
just jam, right? That he's
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
worry about the
used.
jam,
It's
MC.
Right.
ketchup. It's ketchup.
It's ketchup.
You know, I used to eat pizza with ketchup on it.
What?
Anyways.
Wait, what?
Why?
Boo.
Basically
wait,
marinara sauce?
We're not gonna. We'll talk about it later. Anyways, and then
Really?
these are.
Do we have to?
Yeah, do we have to? That's a great question.
And then we got Sage and Felix.
My big question is, who gave Sage a gun?
He's surrendering. It's fine.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I wonder if he knows what it means. Like, like the white flag.
It's his
Oh,
cat
like-
toy.
No,
Full
someone
flag.
told him that the white flag means that you're winning.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I feel like Felix actually, he already had this outfit. Like he just showed up. He actually is not cosplaying. That's just how he dresses.
Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
how he dresses. It's so
Have you ever
cute.
seen Felix go to sleep? That's right.
That's kind of creepy, CL. I don't know. Are you watching Felix go to sleep?
We never. Well, I mean, I did. We always say that he's like the sleep paralysis demon, right? So.
Yeah.
No, I have become the sleep paralysis demon.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I actually just realized this about the design. If the bats are hanging off the bottom of his coffin, does that mean the bottom of the coffin is full of guano? Like, does he just sleep in that?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, gross.
All right. Okay, it's too early for the cursed stuff, Grace. Come
Yeah,
on.
you gotta
What?
put that
What do
away.
you mean?
But yeah, so these are the charms. They're very, very cute. I'm in love with all of them. So please go give Loa some love. I'll put their at on the screen again. How do I do this? Yeah, that's their at. How do I? Eh.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe they're on Twitter and on Instagram as well. Please go give a shout out and tell them we love them so much.
Yeah, it was really awesome to work with them. So very, very cool. All right. Let's see. Oop. And then you see our beautiful avatars again. So now we're gonna go into the drawing screen. So watch this sick transition. Ready?
Oh.
Ta-da! Wow!
Wow.
What are you guys working on?
Pika, why don't you go first?
Oh, okay. So I'm drawing Sage in the pirate outfit that Loa designed for him. So spooky Sage, but not really spooky.
Are pirates
all.
spooky?
I don't know.
I guess they're spooky if you have something to like get stolen.
I guess.
I want to take all your valuables. Ooh.
Oh no, not my booty.
What? Dev! Oh, and also, if you guys were here last time, I kept Battle Sprite Sage on screen because
Oh.
that's CL's favorite sprite, right?
We can't get rid of him. Lulu won't evict him.
Put them away.
I will
please.
never evict Battle Sprite Sage. He is here
Stinky.
permanently.
I have
But yeah.
Stockholm syndrome.
And then, CL, you're drawing Vampire Felix, right?
Yeah, I love his little fangies.
But you also
Aw.
have another sketch.
Oh, I do. I'm drawing Rhyme in his angel costume.
Whoa, look at him.
My bias. But yeah,
His outfit's
Yeah.
so good.
it
yeah,
is.
these designs are so awesome. Loa
He
did
could be
an
your
awesome
angel
job.
or your demon.
Your angle or your devil.
Yeah, it's
Your-
the same difference.
God. I think someone asked for the artist ads. I don't know what commands I put last time because I have a horrible memory. Website. How do I do commands in this? Oh, you can go to our website, I think, and then you can see our team on the website, I think. I don't know. Just look at
Wow.
the website, and then we have the artists. Hika and Ciel are super, super talented. And you can go check them out. But yeah, so while we're talking and doing this stuff, you get to look at gorgeous art being made. Isn't that? You guys are so lucky. You're welcome. I'm saying you're welcome as if I'm doing anything, but okay,
Who's
cool.
our DJ?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm the DJ. You guys asked us so many questions, and every single question is an image. So just so you know, as I'm like trying to bring these images up, I'm struggling very, very hard. So you should be nice to me.
I was really shocked by honestly how many rhyme questions there were. Because I only submitted like 50 of them, so good
Yo-
work.
Dev!
Stuffing the box with rhyme questions.
Don't worry about it.
The call is coming from inside the house.
No, it's fine. I'm not biased. Get out of here.
Mm.
Anyways, alright, so we're just gonna go into it. How do I do this? So the first thing we're doing, cursed question speed round. So these are questions that I thought were funny or cursed. And you guys have never seen these before, and we're just gonna go through them pretty quickly. We only have about 70 of them. I'm joking, not 70. You guys didn't even say anything. I said 70 and you're like, yeah, sounds right.
Yeah.
I'm so full of dread.
I already expect the worst with Lulu, so like I'm prepared.
Some of
Bring it
these, I
on.
will admit, are mine, but you're not gonna know which ones are mine or not.
Wow. Wow. Stuffing the ballot
Wait, do we
box.
want to make bets on that? We
Yeah.
can't tell what
No, we're
Lulu-
not making bets on which ones are mine. Listen,
They're
for
actually
those
all
of,
Lulu.
for those of you guys who don't know, most of the captions on like socials are like made by like me, Dev. Well, we all write the captions, but the very, very cursed ones are usually me and Dev. So I asked you guys to try and out-curse me. Some of you guys were pretty close, but I think I still have the crown. But anyways, let's get into it. Okay, you guys ready?
Let's
No.
go.
No?
Nothing to prepare me for what is to come.
Alright, okay, first one. Sage hairball?
Yeah,
Yes,
of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're starting off simple. This was not mine, as you can tell.
All shapes and sizes.
All shapes, lots of hairballs, huh?
When you have hair that long, you're gonna get a hairball.
Where would you find these hairballs?
Everyone.
I mean, we can add a hidden object minigame for you to look for them.
Oh, that's
yeah.
great. That sounds great.
Oh, that's
yeah.
announcing our first gameplay, our first mini game.
Yeah.
Look around, find a hairball.
Great. Okay, moving on. Ready? Does Sage has toe beans?
I mean, no.
Nah.
Are you sure?
No.
No.
Would Rhyme eat his velvet sheddings?
I mean,
This
if
sounds
he
like a
has
Lulu
some-
question. This sounds like
Yeah,
Lulu.
that's a Lulu question.
You think this is a Lulu question? I 100%
Very
swear to
Lulu.
God, this was not me.
See, here's the thing, though.
We
like,
got some
this one-
freaky fans. I'm telling you. You don't know the answer?
I'm saying the answer is probably yes. You know, it's very like hypothetical. Like if he had velvet sheddings, I don't think he does though.
People in the chat are like, "What are velvet sheddings?" And I'm like,
Google.
Yeah, you can Google it. Anyways,
Yeah.
ready? When Rhyme's antlers fall off, is he just bald for a while?
I mean, his hair doesn't fall off too.
The whole thing just comes off like a wig.
It just pops off.
Yeah.
It's a helmet.
Look, every night before he goes to bed, he takes off his wig.
Good not. Oh, good God.
If there's bird Alefta, can they lay eggs that people can eat?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah, my MC is a chicken.
And you would eat the eggs that your MC laid.
I mean, like, I wouldn't, but I don't judge people who would.
You answered that question way too fast. Yeah, I don't know about that.
You know, I've been thinking about
I feel
this
like
one for a while.
yeah, there's something. Okay, this was funny because we got like 5 of them in the row. If Sage has 4 secret nipples, does Anissa have a hidden third boob?
Oh my God.
I swear, no, I'm not joking when I say there are 2 more questions, but they didn't fit in the screenshot. So
Third boob. That's so powerful of her. Wow.
is there a yes or no? Also, Sage doesn't have 4 secret nipples. We haven't confirmed how many nipples he has. That's coming later.
Yeah, we haven't revealed that. You know, I say good for her.
Yeah, good for her. Honestly, the more the
Yeah.
better, you know?
She's a
Yeah,
girl
whatever.
boss.
Yeah.
Gaslighting about the nipples, gatekeeping
Yeah.
the nipples.
Gatekeeping that boob.
No.
Sage got ass, right? He's caked, right? Kicked out of his mind, right?
I mean, you guys saw that one illustration where you get to see a little bit of his ass, so
Okay,
Yeah.
look at those thighs. You don't have thighs like that and
Yeah,
have like
yeah.
a flat booty. Like,
true.
this
That's
is
true.
Final Fantasy 14. Get out of here.
Is it a Final Fantasy? Wow, drag
out.
Final Fantasy 14 dev team. Oh god.
we advocate for ass in this house.
Is Sage's butt hairy?
You can take a razor to it.
You what? What does that mean?
What does that mean, Grace?
Don't most people have fuzz? I don't know.
I mean, it means the status of his butt is variable.
I feel like technically it is hairy, right? Because he's got like a tail. He's got a lot of tail. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, he does.
it's a big tail. You ever think about how big that tail is?
If
No.
you licked Rhyme's antlers, what would happen?
I guess you'd taste Rhyme's antlers.
Would he do anything? Or like what is the
I don't think you'd be able to feel it. You could probably be standing there licking his antlers for like an hour and he might not notice.
Oh, don't worry, we have a follow-up.
Oh
If
no!
if you sucked Rhyme's antlers, what would happen? Like a
Oh.
lollipop, in parentheses.
I mean, he could hear that, right?
Yeah, he
Like,
probably hears that. He has got really big ears, so, you know.
He has really big ears. Is that what you said?
Yeah, he's got those huge ass ears.
Alright, let's move on. Is Alefta cat people milk a thing? Like oat milk?
Oh my god.
I mean, they're
Maybe-
mammals, right? So it wouldn't,
Yeah.
it wouldn't
Oh my
serve the same
God.
purpose as oat milk. And if you were lactose intolerant, you'd probably have some issues.
Also, why did you jump to oat milk and not like 2% milk?
The oat
or
milk
whole
kills
milk?
me. The oat milk
It's-
absolutely kills me.
It's ethical.
I lose it.
Is it
Oh my
vegan?
God.
Wait, is cat people milk vegan? That's my question.
Cat people are not vegan.
Okay,
But,
let's
like-
move on. Okay, we're not gonna get to a vegan argument. We have a follow-up anyways. What would it taste like?
You know? Let us know, chat. Someone taste the cat
Yeah,
milk.
what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe.
Yeah, let us
What
know
would
in
a
the
left to
comments.
cat people milk taste like? Oh my god.
I feel like it's gonna be watery though.
Watery.
Yeah.
Why?
I'll explain later.
Alright, well, let's How
I feel
does
like that
Rhyme
was a Lulu
feel?
question. Just saying.
How, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does Rhyme feel about Felix's breath smelling like pickles and olives?
I mean, he's obviously gotta be cool with it, right? Like,
To some extent. Maybe it's good. Cat and pee smells really bad, so is Anissa's pee smelly?
Christ.
who's going to smell her pee?
Yes
I
or
mean,
no?
It's not like our cat people use litter boxes. Although, actually, have we ever established that with
Wait,
they
we
use litter boxes for
haven't.
toilets?
Actually, Grace, that's on page 50 of my lore Bible.
Oh, the pee?
Yeah, the human-sized litter box that Sage has in the corner of her room.
Oh!
Oh my
Amazing.
god.
Yeah.
Human-sized litter boxes that smell very bad, right?
Yeah, you gotta
Right.
scoop that.
Anyways. Lucan has big boobie. Can he make them dance?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Great. I'm glad that we got that. That was an easy question.
Yeah, he's very talented. He's multi-talented.
If you took apart one of Sage's hair balls, what would be in it? Who hair?
Oh my god.
Why are you all so obsessed with hairballs?
I feel like he's that kind of person where you're gonna find like a hair tie in there. You're gonna find like a quarter you dropped last week.
Ew! What?
I just feel like he's eating stuff off the floor. I don't know, Grace. You write them more than
Oh
I
yeah,
do.
Grace, you have to tell us what's in the hair ball.
Oh, I mean, like, it's probably a mixture of everyone's hair, right? It's like your hair, it's his
Yeah.
hair.
Oh
yeah.
god. Oh god. You know what?
You know, he does that cat thing where he walks behind you and just eats people's hair. You know what I mean?
Just munching
Oh,
on your hair.
that's great. Alright, last one. Ready?
Mm,
Cats lick their butts to groom, and Sage is a cat boy, so does he, you know.
I have drawn a meme for this. Like I
Yeah.
have drawn a little doodle of
I drew this,
Sage.
so it's canon.
It's canon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
All
answer
memes
is
are
yes.
canon.
I mean, Grace confirmed it.
Alright, so that's it for our Chris
I
question
take
speed
no
round.
responsibility for this cursed question.
That was a juicy choice in one of the chapters.
Lem.
God.
Lem.
Anyways. God, your guys' art is making me insane. I'm just blushing looking at both Felix and Sage. God.
Wow, look at them.
All right, but that was Chris' questions. You guys enjoy that? That's actually the entire Q&A. We're not doing any other questions.
I mean, honestly, that was just like one of our regular meetings.
Yeah, it's not that different from normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess now we're actually getting to the Q&A, and we'll actually answer some of your questions. But okay. Yeah, you guys did good with the Chris questions. I'm impressed.
I'm a little terrified, but
Yeah.
Terrified? Why?
Terrified. I feel like Lulu submitted half of this.
Really? You think so?
I need to
The
write
mill
a whole.
question.
We need a whole lore doc for hairballs. It's just for Lulu.
I'm gonna write it up.
God. Okay, so we're just gonna start with some questions. And I know that you guys, most of you are here for one reason, right? And it's this question. How many nipples does Sage have? We've been teasing this for a long, long time, right? Does he have 8? Does he have 6? We know he has more than 2. So I'm gonna answer it. We're gonna do canon right now. Sage has nipples. There you go. I hope you accept him for who he is. It's like one of his insecurities, so just make sure that you're really nice to him, and I hope you still play his route. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
thank you.
And our second question: do you like to make us suffer?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Of course. So it's really funny. I feel like I see some version of this like a lot of times. And sometimes I kind of think it's kind of like getting at, like if you ever take like a writing class, one of the things we talk about a lot is creating characterization through conflict, which, you know, conflict is just like when characters clash with something. But generally, one of the methods of making like really strong characters, and sorry, I'm going like a writer binge right now. It's about making conflicts that are super personal, because basically characters really shine when you make them face like their fears and their weaknesses and either overcome them or, you know, totally face plant and fail. So you can think of it kind of like a diamond. Like you just got to apply a lot of pressure, and that's what we like doing. I'm not gonna lie, it's great, it's fun, I love it.
Yeah. I mean, in general, a lot of the conflicts in Last Legacy are pretty emotional. So if it hurts when we get into them, that's good. That's the intention. So yes, the answer is yeah, we do want to make you suffer, but it's not the end, right? There's still more coming, so just hold on. You know what I'm saying? Cool. Another question that we got. Are Alephas strictly part mammals? Are there bird Alephas, insect Alephas, fish Alephas, mer people or sirens? Can you inherit traits of 2 different Alephta if you're the children of them?
So apparently all Alephta are animals, like or mammals, sorry. Tulsi, Balsam, Rhyme, they're all Alephta, but they don't necessarily have to be real world animals. Like Rhyme has some antelope traits and some deer traits, and Sage is kind of like a cat wolf guy. So yeah, like it's not necessarily
A cat wolf guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's not necessarily correlating to real world animals.
Yeah, but they're all mammals, right? So there actually
Yes.
aren't bird. Even though Dev, you said you can't eat bird Alephta eggs. It was a trick question. If they
which they don't.
existed, which they don't. God.
Platypus
mean-
Alephta?
Platypus
platypus.
Alephta? Yeah.
Maybe.
Wait, are marsupials? Can Alephta be marsupials?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
marsupials are mammals.
Are they? Oh wow.
Yeah. Possums. Hello. I love
Yeah.
possums.
I didn't know that.
Really?
You ever
Alright.
see a possum play dead? Anyways,
You ever see a possum play dead?
it's really cute.
Oh, I'll look it up later. Do you each have a favorite character? So we actually answered this last time, but some of our answers are different. Right?
Yeah, so favorites are tricky when you're actually writing them. Like, I do have favorite characters, but it's different for me when I have to wrangle them like a bunch of ill-behaving children. So favorite characters to read and favorite characters to write are probably different. Like I really love reading Saros, especially the way Lulu writes them with so much shade is really excellent. In terms of what I like to write myself, like I really love writing Elowen. I've had a lot of fun with her recently.
Yeah, I'm. Sorry, I was gonna say I'm a slut for Elowen.
Yeah, Grace is a good human being. I am a terrible parent because personally, Felix is my baby. I absolutely adore him. That said, obviously my favorite character is Rhyme. They have to mute me because I just keep talking about Rhyme. Every time you don't hear me on the stream, it's because I'm just talking about Rhyme, honestly.
Yeah, it's a problem. There needs to be an intervention, but
None
yeah,
of us are
ask
doing
me
it.
first. Yeah, that's right. Aside from that, I actually really love Saros as well. Saros, I think it's like, we
it's
love
just
them.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah. And like other than Saros, I also really like Scylla. I don't know. I think she's really funny.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Skilla. Yeah. I love. Sorry. Listen. You're gonna find, if you don't know this about me already, you guys, I'm gay for a lot of characters in Last Legacy.
Okay.
Skilla is one of them. Yeah, she can step on me.
I want to be her
Hiko.
future ex-wife.
What about you
Oh,
guys, Hiko and Ciel?
Mine used to be Tulsi, and then so it's really interesting because like I get to read each chapter as they come out, pretty much like maybe 2 weeks before everybody else does. And like recent chapters in which Grace has written Elowen has like hit me so hard that like Elowen's my favorite now. Yeah.
Yeah,
She's so
Ellen-
good.
Dang.
Yeah, Grace has done a really good job. Yeah, it's just especially recently with like the Lucan stuff too. Fuck. I mean, fudgies, you know. What about you,
still
Ciel?
really like, I still really like Felix and Rhyme, and again, Saros retains that like mysterious nature where I just want to see them like lose their cool and like like in a
Ciel's
recent
like,
chapter.
I wanna break Saros' spine. Me too though. Yeah, I'm glad that people like Saros. I want to say, who's my favorite? Honestly, it might be Scylla. It's probably either Scylla or Rhyme. Listen, I really like chaotic characters, and I think everyone in Felix's route is like extremely chaotic. So naturally, I'm drawn to like Rhyme and Scylla. Scylla is also just because, hut, you know. Not saying
like
that
to
Rhyme
think
isn't
that-
also hot, but you know.
I just like to think that like Rhyme and Scylla, they could be buddies. They could hang out.
Oh
like-
yeah, they could. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. We could talk about this forever. I like every single character in Lost Legacy, but we're not gonna do that. Alright, oh, here's one. Where Sage and Lucan just ... bros.
Okay. I think recently we came out with a meme on our socials with that like, it's like that redraw of the woman staring at the dude's boobs, right? And when I drew this meme, I had no idea what the implications were of the booba stare. And because I'm like a person that like, I appreciate boobas in general. You know what I mean? No, nothing behind it, no intentions, just a good booba. And so when I drew it, I only realized after the fact, after we posted it, that we got a lot of comments saying if they had like relationships and stuff. And
Oh yeah,
no,
this
it's
is the
just,
image.
I'm just like clueless and I had no idea. They're just bros.
Yeah, they're bros, but Sage does appreciate the booba. Isn't this good?
You can be a bro and still deeply appreciate your bros.
Exactly.
boobas.
Look, bros
Exactly.
appreciate bros boobas.
Bro, nice
Bro.
boobas.
Nice
Bro,
booba,
can I help you with those boobas? You know?
Bros
They
look
look
heavy.
Yeah, they look heavy, please. Can I help you? Okay, let's move on. We're getting
show
off.
me your boobas dance.
Oh, yeah, show the booba dance. Yeah. God.
Who is going to draw a gif of that?
Oh yeah, we should draw a gif of the
Yeah.
this dance. God. Did Graham found the Starsworn?
No, he didn't. He sort of showed up in their headquarters and started squatting there, and nobody could get rid of him.
Oh nice. I was like, where did this guy come from?
Is this guy?
This one's funny. Does Rhyme have a house? Or does he just hang around somewhere when he's not causing trouble? Or is he too busy doing hot evil girl shit all the time? I'm so curious about him. Also, this comment is very sweet. Thank you for the question.
Yeah, thank you so much. I did not submit this. So, like, I figured this is such a good question because it's like, I know I am constantly like, where is Ryan when he's not on screen? And the answer is, honestly, I feel like he's in that sewer. You know, the one where all like the griefers hang out, like in Sage's route.
The
Like,
smelly,
there's probably
stinky
like,
one?
yeah, that really stinky
Yeah.
dungeon. Like, I feel like there's a cell that's just full of like crop tops and glitter. It's got some knives, it's got some empty Starbucks cups, and like all the griefers, they know to avoid it. Like, they don't go close to it.
So you're telling me that Rhyme smells like poo?
No, he smells great. He's got a bunch of candles in there.
I don't believe it. I don't know. I don't know if I buy it.
It smells like a bath shower body wash. What was that? Like,
What was it? Oh yeah, what did I write? What was it? Bed and shower?
shower body wash?
Bed and shower body works or something, yeah. That's what he smells like. Okay. How big is the fictive team? We get this question a lot, honestly.
Yeah. Let's see here. The fictive team overall is a little bit more than just us, since there's also, you know, engineering, QA, all of the writers and artists for the other fictive stories. So it's a little bit bigger, but Last Legacy is just the 5 of us. And for the most part, like, each story is run pretty independently, so we're just doing our thing, being horrible and cursed on our own little island.
Yeah, I think people confuse us for the fictive team. We are just Last Legacy. We don't do anything except Last Legacy, right? So that's our specialty. And our socials are very different too. We don't post on the fictive socials, we only post on Last Legacy socials. So just clarifying in case you guys are confused there. Is anyone on the Last Legacy team POC? I want to say how much I appreciate you! Yeah, and so the cool thing is that everyone on the team is POC and somewhat gay. So we have a really diverse team. Hopefully it shows in the game and in their characters and stuff like that. I think, personally, I am consider myself very, very lucky that I get to work with you all because you guys are all very smart and you also have such unique, diverse perspectives. And I think it just makes the writing that much more, like, unique and stuff like that. So, yeah. In Anissa's room, there's a wanted poster. Is that Sage on the wanted poster?
Yeah, good eye. So I want to imagine that Anissa has like a collection of Sage wanted posters that she just kind of like keeps to look at.
Wait, I think I have the image, right? It's this.
Yeah.
There it is.
It's so funny. Oh my god. Hold on. Why does he look like that?
They got his ears wrong.
I ask that every time I see Sage, honestly.
Why does he look like that? Yeah, that's what you ask all the time.
Yeah, honestly, the most impressive part is that he's not like completely shirtless. I mean, he's not, you know, he's not wearing a shirt, but you know, I see like a little, like I see his belt, you know.
He's doing a peace sign. I
Oh my
just
God.
noticed.
He's fine.
This is so funny. What if, honestly, people in chat are like, we should make this a poster. You know what? I would totally buy a Sage Wanted poster. We should do it.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Alright. Let's keep on going. Please share some facts about Saros. Anything, I'm whipped. They're lactose intolerant. Next question.
That's it.
That's it. That's all the fact you're gonna get. You'll learn about them more up in the next chapters. Is Felix's hair purple or brown? It's different in Sprite, CG, and official art sometimes.
Yeah, so it's kind of supposed to be brown, like a dark brown on the cool tone side. I'm really sorry if like this ever confuses people. I think brown hair looks pretty different in different lighting, so yeah, it can vary between like the sprite and the illustration.
Yeah, so we have like art checks like regularly, and we get to see the drafts of the characters in like really various ways, and it's really cool to see the characters like in different lighting and different angles and different compositions, and you realize like, all together, it's really what makes the character look more alive, right? And so these characters will look very, very different in very different environments. And so even if they don't look exactly like the sprite, in CGs, it's probably because of the way things are angled, and there's a lot of work that goes into it and a lot of thought.
Yeah, that's a good point.
One of the trickiest things that we have to keep in mind too when we're making art for the game is that all pieces of art have different technical limitations, and this is one of those things where you would like to think that the sky's the limit in terms of your imagination, but you are really limited by your game engine and your tools. All of our sprites have to have transparent alpha layers. All of our illustrations need to fit the boilerplate that contains all of the text and the actual game. Poster art needs to be readable and scalable at all these different sizes. So for each piece of art, it has unique technical limitations, and that does contribute to the different looks and the different composition.
For sure. The boilerplate.
The boilerplate.
Yeah.
It's like the arc nemesis or whatever of your guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really difficult because every generation phones just keep getting skinnier and skinnier until you're just you're gonna see a strip of people's bodies and that's it.
Yeah, weren't we using a 4:5 ratio for a while, and now we're at a 16:9, and we're no, it's getting skinnier.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, Sometimes sometimes you guys say stuff and I'm like, damn, I didn't know that. I'm just sitting here and I'm like, wow, that's cool. And I'm just sitting along listening. Okay, cool. Next question. Was Tulsi ever part of the Grievers? Did she even know about it?
Tulsi was not part of the Griefers, but she did know about them. They were pretty active in Parima 5 years ago. So everyone who kind of lived in that area around the Parima docks knew about the Griefers, even if they weren't actively involved.
Did she have an opinion or anything?
I mean, her opinion toward just about everything that Sage does tends to be, vague disapproval, so
Yeah.
we could probably extrapolate from there. The Griefers are interesting, though, because they're not just bad guys. They were trying to protect people, so...
Right. I guess it's complicated.
Yeah, so she probably had very mixed feelings. She doesn't want her bro to be throwing himself in danger, which he always does anyway, but, at the same time, he is his own person, and you have to sometimes let him jump headfirst into a pit.
Yeah, and at least he had Lucan watching out for him, who had half a brain cell. Maybe.
Ciel, were you gonna say something?
Oh no, I was just yeah.
Okay. Awesome. During your last Q&A, you guys said that you legally can't read fanfiction, but why? We actually got this question a lot. I was surprised that most people didn't know about this.
Yeah, so this is something where I think all of us have been on both ends of it now, where we've been fans of different kinds of media, and now we're creators. The short answer is that you guys have really creative ideas, and we want to protect both your ideas and our own. We can get in legal hot water for reading fan fiction for kind of even accidentally mixing those two. And so as much as we would love to read your fan fiction, this is really for our protection and for yours, and for we would love to be able to read it, but we just can't while we're working on the game.
I mean, for me personally, the second that Last Legacy is over, I'm just gonna read everything. I'm gonna be on AO3 for 25 hours.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Once Last Legacy is done, you bet we're gonna read every single word you guys have written. And it's gonna be awesome. But until then, please keep writing it, and honestly, fanfiction and stuff, especially if you want to work in a creative field or even if it's just a hobby, it's one of the best things you can do to be a better writer and creator, even if it's just for fun. So definitely keep doing it.
Yeah.
Cool. What is Stella?
Wow, that's a good question. I have no idea. Stella is basically, she's a godling, which is basically just a very powerful spirit that Felix stuck into the body of his old family pet. So for 5 years, he kind of was trying to figure out how to perfect this resurrection spell, and he needed a dummy, just a test. So he dug up Stella's body and put a spirit into it.
That's
Yeah.
so creepy.
It's really cute. It's Felix.
It's not.
Did you say it's cute?
It's adorable. I love Felix. Wow.
Brain.
I
He's
just
so
I
quirky.
can't imagine him people in chat are like, he's so cute. Are you guys kidding? Like
I just like the image of him just digging up a tiny cat coffin.
it's a coffin.
Wonderful.
He put Stella in a
Yeah.
coffin.
Of course, a skull put still. A skull is going to spare no expenses burying the only thing he cares about. I'm kidding. He cares about his kids. Probably.
Skella only ever cared about Skilla, or not Skilla, Stella.
Stella.
Yeah, it's like
my
the portrait in his office is him and Stella.
I just can't imagine Felix going to the backyard and digging up a cat corpse. Christ, what a weirdo.
I mean, look, it could have been a person.
All right, we're gonna move on.
This is like he could have been doing like illicit things.
I know he could have been doing
Yeah.
drugs or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's better that he dug up this cat corpse and put a demon in it.
We're
It's
justifying
all
it that
relative.
way.
Everything is relative. We're grading on a spoopy curve.
What led to the team redesigning the tavern? Still love it.
Oh, so the tavern and the hotel background are like some of the very first things I ever drew for Last Legacy. So I felt like I had improved enough that I could kind of do a better job at it, and the team let me like redo it. So basically, like the more we work on it and the more we're used to like the file limitations and things like with the art, we can do better work for like backgrounds and illustrations. So I also
Right.
think that. Oh, go
We
ahead.
did like a comparison, right? I'm just putting on screen. That's all.
Yeah. I want to think that I also like picked up a little bit just watching Hika because Hika is super good at this, and it was really like eye-opening to see them like how they approach things and colors and stuff. So yeah.
Look at it. Look how gorgeous it
Okay,
is.
someone just said, sorry, just not to distract really quick. Someone said
Hmm.
Felix should have done an unboxing video for Stella's corpse.
Oh my god.
Cursed.
Oh, that's so good. Anyways, but yeah, so this is actually the tavern. It's really, really pretty. So for you guys who don't know, the one on the right is the old one, the one on the left is the new one. But yeah, did you have any thoughts like when you were redesigning it, Ciel, in particular this one, the tavern?
Well, I think Dev said that like all the taverns look the same.
What? When did I say that?
Yeah, you said like Unati Tani if all the taverns in this world look the same.
Oh,
So
'cause franchise.
yeah. But yeah, it was supposed to be like a place where like rowdy people hang out. And so I tried to like add more character to it. Like a place you can imagine Sage hanging out all day and getting into fights with people.
Yeah, I think it's really good. It looks so much like messier. So I love it. And then you also redid the hotel. What about the hotel? Did you want to like redo?
Oh, so yeah, like this is one of those things where like I learned how to draw backgrounds a little better. Like it's supposed to kind of like lead your eye around, but like the first background doesn't do that very well. Hopefully the second one is a little like it looks kind of like a hallway with like the lobby doors,
Mm-hmm.
little things like that where you're like, I can do this and this will make people's eyes do that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully anyway.
It's like how they went from like a Best Western to like a Marriott, you know?
Yeah, they upgraded. God. But yeah, these are both. I mean, I liked the old backgrounds too, so seeing you update them is just cool because it's like, wow. I think all of us improve a lot the more that we work on the project. So it's cool
Yeah.
to see like improvements and stuff like that. But yeah, the one on the left is really, really pretty.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, sorry. The one on the left is the new one. The one on the right is the old one.
Hmm.
Okay, cool. Let's see. We have a very sweet message. Hi there! I'd like to start off by saying thank you for all the hard work. Thank you for enjoying the game. This is very sweet. I'm glad that you like Last Legacy. It helped them through a tough patch. The question is aligned along with merch. Do you have any foreseeable plans for merch like plushies, posters, etc.?
Yeah, we're always looking for merch ideas, and we just want to make the things that you all want to see as well. So like if you have any like merch that you want to see, let us know, DM us your ideas and we'll see if we can feasibly do it, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, Oh, sorry, go to.
Sage, booby, mouse pad.
I've been asking for that since the very beginning.
I'm just saying. I'm just like, give the people, by who I mean Lulu and I, what they want.
Yeah. Give me exclusively, not Dev.
What?
Give me what I want. And
No,
that's
I'm
a
gonna-
Sage
I'm gonna-
Booby Mascot.
I'm gonna get those booba.
Yeah, but we have, so the only two socials we have are Twitter and Instagram, but you can DM us, hopefully. I think you can DM us on both. So if you have any merch requests or anything like that, just interact with us. We want to make ourselves very accessible to you, so if you have any ideas, just send us a message. It'll be awesome to hear from you. Can we learn anything about Rhyme's family?
Wow. I mean, aside from the fact that I'm going to become part of it later this evening. Yeah, so like Rhyme, I don't know if people know this, but the characters that have like 3-part names are nobles in this story, and Rhyme has a 3-part name, which I know we've only revealed in like his bio, but that's, you know, the true fans catch on. I'm kidding. So House Varela is like a really old minor noble house that they actually have like a matriarch, and they're the only left-in house that's noble in Parima. Rhyme honestly was never going to inherit like much at all, so that's one of the reasons that he didn't really have any pressure to be like proper or to like go into politics or anything. Yeah, he didn't really have siblings. He was raised with like his cousins. Actually, his dad is from Altal, the same like island that Tulsi and Sage are from. And just kind of like a little Easter egg in Sage Chapter 2, you can get like these cakes with Sage, and the shapes of the cakes, the animals on them actually reference House Varela and House Ungis, which is Felix's house. It's a deer and a snake.
Wow, you're planning some deep lore.
Yeah.
This was-
I had no idea. I was actually really surprised to find out that Rhyme was like a noble.
Well, you're like, this guy?
He's too goblin
I
to
was
be
like-
a noble.
I was like, this guy, he's a noble. Are you kidding me? But it's really cool. I mean, honestly, I mean, I said it already, but like, I always learn new things. Like, the world of Last Legacy is like so intricate, and Dev has done such an amazing job, you know, fleshing out the world and making it so lived in and real. And so honestly, I'm just sitting here and just like, wow, that's epic. I had no idea. Dev's brain is very big. You're very cool.
Mm-mm.
It's big, but it's very smooth.
Very smooth.
And very full of Yanderays.
Does Anissa get any habits from her father? Okay, this is a loaded question. I'm gonna give you a chapter 1 spoiler for people who don't know. Anissa's father is the Lord of Shadows. So actually the answer to this is yes, she's evil. Next question. How long is each route gonna last? Is it gonna be 15 chapters or longer?
Yeah, so originally we had planned to do 15 chapters, and I know that like the app actually used to say that. This is actually incorrect, so I apologize for people who are under this impression. We never updated it. Each character is actually getting 16 chapters.
16.
Yep, 16.
Does that include? I feel like I've asked this before. See, I don't even know anything. I'm asking the same question that the fans are asking because I don't know anything.
Was this your question? Was this
No,
your
this
question?
wasn't my question. This wasn't my question. That includes, but there are also multiple endings, right?
Yeah, that includes the
Yeah.
ending.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, because I'll also get that question a lot, is that are there gonna be multiple endings per route? And yes, of course, your choices do matter. I feel like sometimes people are like, I'm making all these choices, are they gonna matter? Yes, of course they matter. You will have multiple endings. You know, we're not gonna tell you how many per route, but just so you know.
100.
Yeah, 100 endings
Another-
per route.
Another thing I'd also like to clarify is that we don't really just work in a binary of good and bad. So, because I feel like occasionally I see people like, oh my gosh, like this character reacted this way, that means I'm on a bad path. There's no good path or bad path. Your decisions just kind of change how characters react, different endings, and things like characters reacting differently to you are not necessarily tied to the ultimate ending that you're gonna get. We have a lot of independent variables.
Oh yeah. We actually got this question with Rhyme. And I'll spoil you right now, there's also one for Saros. So depending on how you interact with some characters in the game, certain characters will have an affinity for you. And so there are some characters that are like that, where you'll get different conversational options or something But a lot of it is for flavor. Most of the time, you're not going to be able to tell which choices are going to affect your ending because we make it that way. We want you guys to fuck up. But sorry, mess up. But like, just it's like we do. There's a lot of work that goes into all of the choices. So I hope you guys have fun with it, but also don't stress yourself out over it because a lot of it is flavor. And even if you try, you're not gonna be able to tell which ones are going to affect your endings. So just have fun.
The other thing too is that if you get an ending that you weren't anticipating, you can always go back and make different choices.
But yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so don't worry about it. You're not gonna be locked into one ending. You can always go back and try and find other ones.
I mean, honestly, the only bad ending is the ending where you're not best friends with Rhyme. That is a bad ending.
Dev!
Spoiler.
God.
Pushing the dear boy agenda.
Yeah, agenda. Alright. Skilla is 31, Skell is 52. What are Skell's feelings on becoming a father at the age of 21?
I'm not allowed to cuss. So basically, neither Florian nor Skell really planned on starting a family or getting hitched that young. But you know, that's the thing about shotgun weddings. They're a surprise for everyone.
So they had no idea.
Yeah, it was not planned. Oops.
Oops. Well, I mean, it shows
Oopsie daisy.
that he's a bad dad, so. But yeah, that's funny.
Use protection.
Yeah, make sure you guys are safe. Stupid question: does Felix wear makeup?
Yeah. I mean,
Not a
he's
stupid
goth,
question.
so
Yeah, no such thing as stupid questions, by the way. But
Yeah,
Sarah, what
yeah,
were you
yeah.
saying?
yeah, he's goth. But also there's like a scene in a recent chapter where he's putting on like eye makeup because he's cute.
Oh yeah, it's a juice, right?
Yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah. He puts on his gel eyeliner.
Yeah, gel eyeliner with a
Which
gel pen.
honestly, it's with a gel pen. Yeah.
With a gel pen.
I personally find that very impressive because I cannot use gel eyeliner. It's hard. Props to
Yeah.
Felix.
All right. Are there any canon trans characters in Last Legacy?
Yeah, so Florian is a trans man. So Escella and Florian are both Skilla and Felix's birth parents. Yeah, they weren't like brought to life by dark magic. They're just, they're just kids. They're kids.
Spoilers.
All the
You
dark
would-
magic kicks in later.
Yeah, the dark magic kicks in later. But yeah, I love Florian. How are Skell and Skilla's name pronounced? How
His
Yeah.
ex
Skilla?
Skyla?
Excel.
Skiller.
Excel? Google Excel.
Google.
Oh my god.
Anyways.
Every time we try to type into a doc for work, it gets autocorrected to Excel. Every single time.
You know, so my phone actually autocorrects time to rhyme now, and I'm gonna mute myself.
Your time goes into rhyme, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so funny. That's how you know you have a
It's
problem.
rhyme o'clock.
It's rhyme o'clock all the time.
It's rhyme o'clock.
Yeah.
Do the side characters have any first sketches we can see? Thank you for loving the side characters. We actually showed a bunch of them during our first stream. I think we showed like Skilla, and then we actually showed the original concepts for the trio, the love interests too. So you can go check those out. But we also have new stuff, right, Hika?
Yeah. So I got to. I had the opportunity from the team to design a character recently, and I got to design Lucan. So if you ever saw Lucan in Sage Chapters, I got to design that. I don't know if you want to show Lucan's hair and stuff. I can show
Oh,
like some of the concept
show all
sketches
of
that we
it.
did. Yeah.
We have his expressions. We got the hair.
Yeah. So, when CL does their character designs, I feel like they have such a really good grasp of character design. For me, it took a bit, and it took a lot of trial and error to figure out what was good. So there was a lot of variations, a lot of sketches, especially because Lucan has multiple forms. I try to incorporate that into his design, his original normal design, and yeah.
I remember I went feral as soon as I saw that bottom right sketch of
Yeah.
going feral. God, it's so
Yeah.
good.
It's hot.
Yeah.
I really wanted to do like the hair down, you know, like the anime like messed up hair when they turn evil
Yeah, yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah.
And
I
this is
just
so
love the
funny.
little clips.
Oh yeah, the clips too. They're so cute.
Yeah, I was looking at expressions, and one is like the live, and one's the kill. Yeah, the kill.
Yeah, you did such
God.
a great job, like packing so much into his expressions. You can really tell what kind of guy he is. Cool.
Mhm.
Where's his
We-
can of Monster?
Yeah, where's the monster can?
He
He's
is the
so
monster
cute,
can.
though. Oh wow, that you know what? You're
That's
right.
deep.
It's the monster can.
I think my favorite little touch on these are his cute little
sorry.
barrettes.
Oops.
We were saying internally how Elowen probably gave him those.
Yeah,
the breads.
I
They
was
also
thinking
match
that
his eyes.
Yeah,
So
they
cute.
do. And the little ribbon on his arm, I thought was Elowen's little touch too. Like she like wrapped it up and gave a little ribbon at the end, maybe. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And then you also have
Um,
this one.
Yeah, I want to show one last funny sketch of Lucan. So this was, I made some various designs for his outfit, and this was actually my favorite personally, but I was vetoed by Grace because
Yeah.
Grace
Yeah.
was like,
I was the wet blanket. I'm sorry, you guys. So
No,
it's
it's
like
fine.
I was like, someone's gonna put a spear right through his tum, and then yeah, that's just gonna be it.
The veto
Yeah, so
tongue.
it really taught me a lot about like fantasy, like mixing fantasy and both like actual realism and practical design. Because I know that I can be very like anime and stuff, so it was really good to be like grounded in design
Hmm.
by the team. Yeah.
I feel like you're like the things you like about a character, you kind of sprinkled them into Lucan's design though, because he came out still looking cute. I think, even though he's a
Yeah.
tough guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Mhm.
super adorable.
Yeah, Lucan looks really, really good. Man, love the boobs.
And the
Boobs.
boobs.
Okay. Since Rhyme smells like marshmallows, what do the other characters smell like? This was news to me. I thought Rhyme smelled like poo because he lives in the sewers.
Wow. Absolutely not. Actually, specifically, Ryan smells like Rihanna. No, I will not explain. So basically, Sage has been described as smelling faintly like I think it was like wood smoke and spice and leather. Felix actually wears perfumes. He prefers like really woody scents, like petrichor, which is kind of like fresh rain, and vetiver, which is kind of the smell of like freshly cut grass. And I feel like Anissa would be like really clean and like refreshing. I don't think she would wear like perfume per se, but I feel like she just smells like, you know, like fresh linens. Like
Fresh
Yeah.
laundry, right out of the dryer.
Yeah.
Nice.
Buries my face into laundry. And Anissa. Sorry. But yeah, that's cool. You're not gonna talk about the marshmallow thing?
That's the yeah. I won't get into it. People should just Google it. Basically,
Okay.
there's this perfume that Rihanna wears. It's like apparently it's fantastic, and yeah, it smells like marshmallows and like vanilla, and everyone's just like, it's heavenly. It's the best thing I've ever smelled. And I was like, yes,
That's
Rhyme.
Rhyme.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Alright, here we go. Hi, I know you can't give a yes or no answer. What are the odds of new routes being added? For example, Rhyme.
Yeah, so we would love to write new routes. The thing is, as y'all can see, we are 5 people. We have to finish our current routes first. We just really don't have the bandwidth or the staffing to do any more at the time. Honestly, even doing Tales is like really difficult for us. But honestly, it's like really great seeing so many people really excited to spend time with like other characters. Like, yeah, we'd love to.
I know Dev would love to do a rhyme route. Like, you guys are asking for
Mhm.
rhyme route. Yeah, of course. Of course
Yeah.
we want to do a rhyme route. It can't happen anytime soon because we want to finish the love interests that we have, you know. But yeah, I mean, so many of the side characters are so compelling and good. There's so much more to explore in Lost Legacy, so we're really happy that you guys are interested at all. So thank you. Worst to best cooks out of the main 3.
think Sage is the best cook out of the three, right?
You wouldn't think so.
Look, Sage is one of those guys where he knows how to make like one style of egg, like a fried egg, really well. Like he's got that down. Like anything else he burns. But I feel like that one, you know, like you're just like, wow, this is perfect breakfast. This is all he can cook. That said, Felix and Anissa are disasters. So the bar is honestly on the floor. But at least Felix can make pickles, I guess. That's a skill, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Pickles
you
count
know,
as food.
So that means that Felix is better than Nisa. That means that Nisa is the worst cook, and then Felix is better than Nisa only because he can make pickles.
Yeah, making pickles is cooking, right?
I mean,
yeah. Kind of.
Pickling?
One can subsist
Yeah.
on only pickles.
Felix
don't know.
reminds me of like a fermentation kind of guy.
A
You know, it
fermentation
turns into, like
kinda guy.
sauerkraut.
Yeah, those kombuchas.
That's the
yeah.
funniest
Yeah,
thing I've
kombucha.
heard in like a year. It sounds like a fermentation kind of guy.
It's like necromancy, right? Kinda.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cool. What is up with the white cloth on Sage's belt? Is it sentimental or just an odd Sage decor? Actually, I can just show it because I have the. Hold on. I have Battle Sprite Sage right next to you.
He's
Oh
right there.
yes.
His little hank.
So
Seal's so resigned.
he has a little hanky on his belt. So it actually matches with one that Anissa has. But actually, like, nobody's really asked this before, I don't think. Like, when I submitted the sketch, nobody was like, what is that? But it's like, just like this idea that I would read about in some like old like books, like the Three Musketeers or like knights and stuff. They always have like a little hanky. And they're like always like offering it to people and tying it around wounds and being really cool. So I thought it would be funny if like the Starsworn has something like that. And Felix still has his, but he probably just like has it
Aw.
folded somewhere. I don't know.
That's cute.
His
He's like the
underwear.
only one.
Keeping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dev?
Yeah,
It's in his
pants.
what?
Yeah, Dev?
He
Yeah.
folds it out. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I think it's. I was gonna say before we made it cursed again, was that Sage wearing it is very cute, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like one of the only. He still wears it even though it's like Starsworn. I think that's a very endearing. All right, I'm gonna put Battle Sprite Sage right back next to you, Seal.
Hello, friend.
Are you guys
Hello,
friends?
darkness.
No.
No.
I'm resigned to my fate.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Hi, hello. I was wondering how Florian and Estelle met. How did they start dating?
Yeah, that's a good question. So basically, as we know, like Eskel like came from this country called Vila, and he kind of had to flee. Like he was kind of kicked out, so he kind of wound up in Paraima as doing kind of work for hire as like a spellbreaker and as a kind of exiled noble. You know, he was really in the market for someone to take care of him honestly and to pay for him and stuff. So they just kind of happened to meet each other in the markets one day, and like Florian found him really charming, and yeah, they've been together for a little over 30 years. They kind of separated when Felix was a teenager though.
So you're telling me Estelle wanted a sugar daddy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, so did Estelle even like Florian at the very beginning, or was he just like manipulating?
You know, I think he liked his hair.
His hair? What?
I'm kidding. Like I think there's definitely like there was a spark there for sure. Like I think it's one of those relationships, honestly, that kind of developed over time. Like we kind of mentioned earlier, they kind of fell into it quick, you know, because
Oh
still it
yeah.
happened. So the relationship's been kind of complicated.
Hmm.
So I'm just very fascinated. So then, did Florian know from the get-go that Estelle was like kind of manipulative and scheming, or did he discover that later? Or was that one of the reasons why he liked Estelle?
I think you have to get a sense of that, right? Like Eskel's pretty seedy. Like like you meet
guess.
that guy, and you're just
Why
like,
was
he's
that
up to no good.
charming? How? I'm just curious what the attraction.
You don't
No, but-
find...
No, Estelle's fine. He's fine. I'm just wondering.
He is fine. There's just a certain attraction. I think Estelle can really turn the charm on when he wants to. He just has had no reason to turn it on with MC or Felix, unfortunately.
So he can't. He has charm, right? Somewhere.
I mean, he used to be really hot too. I mean, he's still hot, but like, have you seen
yeah.
that poster of him?
Oh yeah,
Like-
yeah. He used to be. The joke is that in Last Legacy 1, he was like the poster boy twink, right?
Yeah.
So he was like the hottest one and like the fan bait, right? So he used to be very cute.
He has all those like booby butt pose posters. Like that was him.
Oh yeah, the movie butt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Dev, I just want you to know I'm gonna make an anonymous AO3 account and write fanfiction about Florian and Eskel now.
You should
Do it.
Do it.
That's definitely one of those things where like I feel kind of sad because I'm like I don't know, when coming up with characters we write a lot of stuff that just never gets shown on screen. It just organically, you can't really put it in the story, and I definitely find those two really interesting, and it's a bummer, like there's no place to put that really.
Yeah, there's so much you could explore. We just don't have enough time to get into all of it. Alright. Anissa's route changed a lot from when it was semi-rebooted. What was the biggest difference to her character or story? Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, Anissa's route kind of got adjusted once I joined the team, and for the most part, Anissa didn't change as a character. I feel like that's like a misconception. Anissa's exactly the same as she always was. The only thing I changed was or we changed as a team, was that she is now the daughter of the Lord of Shadows, which adds a lot of conflict to her character and stuff like that. So, and I mean, if you guys are curious, we can talk about it and like why that decision was made. But yeah, for the most part, she's still exactly the same. Like, Dev is the one that created Anissa, you know?
Yeah, and like it's also, I think, kind of important to remember that we didn't change that much simply because she didn't have that much content out either when Lulu came aboard.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't like Lulu came here and held a gun to all of us. It was like, delete it. Like, that's not what happened.
We actually kept a lot of the content. We just like reorganized it. Because Dev, you had written a lot of really good paid scenes and just like a lot of scenes in general that were really good. So we just like kept them and like reshuffled them a bit. And then we decided to make her conflict more tied to like the MSQ. It's like the main story quest, right? Like, before Anissa's story, for those of you who don't know, her story before was more political. So it was involved with like Eskel and like the political side of Paraima and the power structure being corrupt and that kind of stuff, which was really interesting. But compared to like Sage and Felix, where they interact a lot more with like the big bad and stuff, we wanted to make sure that Anissa also got the chance to take a part in this huge, you know, battle and you know, climax and stuff like that. So I thought it would be fun, and I always love messy characters and messy conflicts. So I thought it'd be really, really cool if we could explore, well, what if she was actually related to the big bad? And so that's kind of where that idea came from. And if you play Anissa's route, you will ideally learn a lot more about the big bad and kind of Estrella in general than the other two routes, because she's like in the thick of it, you know? So you'll get like the most lore, which is pretty exciting.
The other thing with... Oh, go ahead.
I'll say real quick, yeah, like honestly, originally Anissa being the Lord of Shadows' daughter was actually going to be revealed quite a bit later, and I think that was one of the biggest, like, smartest things that Lulu did. I mean, Lulu's done a lot of great stuff, but like, honestly, that was really bold, like, and I think it was really effective, just like not hiding that, because it is pretty important for who she is.
Yeah.
The thing with reboots like this and sort of like rewrites is that the earlier we get to them, the easier it is, not only for us, but also for all of you. Because if there's a lot of content out and it's not working and something needs to be rewritten, then it's like, oh no, this is going to be so much work, and we're going to put the fans through a bunch of stuff, and like, how is it going to go? So Lulu coming on and then us identifying early that we wanted some changes to the story was really, really smart and really helped a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, just to also be clear, everyone on this team is extremely talented. I didn't really do that much. It was like a collaborative effort to adjust certain things to make it poppier and stuff like that. I just got the honor to execute. So Anissa's an amazing character. Dev created her, so definitely give Dev all the love that you can. But cool. Moving on. Does the skull on Felix's necklace have any significance to him?
Yeah, so this comes up in one of the juicy choices. I forget which chapter, but essentially this was like his beloved childhood pet crow, and it was also one of his first ventures into taxidermy. Yeah, Felix is unique. Love to have a hobby.
Unique's a nice way to put it.
Yeah.
The more I learn about Felix in this stream, the more I'm like, oh my god, what? There's this guy.
He's fine. He's doing great.
He has no problems. He's perfectly normal and functional.
He just probably shouldn't have any more pets.
I mean, or one could argue that he takes really good care of his pets even after death.
That's that I like that. That's a really good
point.
We're gonna go with
I
that
love
spin.
Felix. Someone's like, I hate Felix. No, I love Felix. He's great. I love perfect sleep paralysis, little creepy guy. But sometimes you're like surprised by how creepy he is. You know? Yeah, he's sentimental. That's a very nice way of putting it. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all nodding.
All right. This was a part of a really nice, very long question. Thank you for the submission, by the way. We had to like cut it a little bit. So this question is basically asking, can you give us any insight towards Sage's feelings towards MC? You know, how does he view his future? How does he view himself, etc.
He's head empty. There's nothing in there.
Nothing
No.
going on in Sage's head.
Nothing at all. No. I'm kidding. He's not actually head empty. I think the thing with Sage is that he's one of these characters that has a lot of capacity for feeling and has a lot going on, but is not good at expressing it to anybody. Himself, the MC, any of his friends, he really struggles with the expression part, even though he does feel a lot. So he tends to try and show affection and care through his actions. So spoilers for any of you who haven't read Sage's early chapters, but very early on, he tries to act kind of standoffish toward the MC, and then as soon as you're in danger, he leaps to protect you, which shows that he actually does care. So for me, in the later chapters, I think one good indication that he really does like the player and really does care about you a lot is that he starts trying to articulate this stuff, even though he's really bad at it. And it, and the fact that he's willing to make the effort, even though he knows he's not good at it, I think is very sweet.
Yeah, I think Sage is a very sweet character, even if it's like hard for him to express his feelings, you know?
Yeah.
He speaks better with his fists,
It's like, how do I express affection with fists? This isn't really working.
Kneading. It's by kneading.
Yeah, he's just gonna knead your blanket to shreds.
I have a question. So I just have I'm curious, and I'm gonna ask you questions too on the spot. But like, did Sage view himself, like his own idea of himself? Did he view himself any differently before he met MC and like towards the later Sage chapters, like the last chapter? Did he always like himself? Did he have like resentment in himself? Does MC help with that? What are your thoughts around like his own self worth?
I mean, I think okay, I can't get into details yet, but because it's probably spoilers for some of the more recent chapters, but like Sage has a lot of self-loathing kind of bottled up that he tries to hide by, pretending to be sexy, dangerous, cavalier mercenary. So I think there's a big difference between what he would like to see himself as and what he actually sees himself as. And I think MC helps a lot in terms of trying to reconcile the two, right? Because when there's a really big difference between what you aspire to be and what you actually think you are, that causes you a lot of problems and a lot of internal pain.
Right. So he's like posturing and like to try and convince himself that he's not a person that he is because he doesn't like that person.
Yeah, and I think the MC can help him a lot with that.
Yeah, that's very sweet. Thank you for answering my impromptu question.
I already answered all your curse questions. So.
I know. You're like, I can be ready for anything. I already told you Sage has a hairball. We're good. Okay, cool. This is gonna be our last question. I will not say anything to leave out spoilers. Please tell us everything is going to be okay. So I figure this is a good chance to transition into discussing the latest chapters. What I'm gonna do is basically, if you have not read the last Felix and Sage chapters and you want to read them, this is your opportunity to close the tab. And you can always come back to this and watch this conversation later. For those of you who have read the last chapters, we're going to be talking about the Felix chapter, and then we're all going to be talking about the Sage chapter. And I think it'll be fun to kind of talk about what the significance of the plot details that happened was, kind of give you some more insight into the characters, answer some of your questions. We're not going to give you any spoilers for the next chapters, but I think it would be fun to talk about. We're not going to do it right away. I want to give us an opportunity to look at the artist's work, because you guys have been working so fast. Sage and Rhyme look so good. You guys want to show off the progress that you've made?
Yeah.
Wow. I love them. Ciel, do you want to
So
take us
cute.
through yours first?
Yeah, I think you're muted.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, don't worry about it.
This is where Felix is at. He's got a
I
little
love
bat friend.
him.
Look
His
at
little
him.
bat.
He's so
See?
cute.
And then Rhyme is over here.
I love Rhyme. God, this
Wow,
this
an
outfit
angel.
is so good. This design
All
for
of Rhyme's
Rhyme
outfits are
Mhm.
is so good.
Titty
The
windows.
boob window.
boob windows for
Perfect.
days.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, Hika, what about you?
This is Sage as a pirate, and he's kind of like really like Catboy Toofs. So wanted to show him like kind of scratching
blushing.
his tooth on his finger, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
He
Wow.
looks so cool.
Yeah, he looks so good.
He can have my
Uh,
booty.
Right before he tells
Yeah,
him
I
to give him a booty.
Yeah,
God. All right.
supposed to draw Nisa too, but a little
It's
late
okay.
on that.
Don't worry about it. I think your stage is awesome. So yeah, this is we'll probably post these sketches later. Thank you guys so much. If you're gonna leave before the spoiler stuff, we really appreciate you. Keep an eye out for the Halloween charms. We have a lot planned. But we know there was a kind of like a gap between releases recently. Unfortunately, we can't push out chapters even if they're done because Fictive has its own schedule. But soon we're gonna have some more chapter releases in the next month, as well as some other stuff. So keep an eye out. Again, thank you very much for tuning in. And stick around if you want to talk about the last Felix chapter and the last Sage chapter.
Yeah, come cry with us.
Yeah. Okay, cool. You guys can keep drawing, by the way. We're gonna stay on this screen, but I'm gonna put up a spoiler warning. I wonder if you guys can read this. I think we're gonna talk about
Spoilers.
Felix first because it came out a little bit a while. You can't read this at all. Hold on. I should have troubleshooted this. But yeah, we can. I think we're gonna start with talking about the Felix chapter, and then we'll get into Sage. What do you guys think of the last Felix chapter? Let me hear your thoughts in chat. Pain, ouch.
Look at all those tears.
Dev is like
Dev's like,
drinking.
delicious.
Delicious tears.
Yeah.
Drink them up.
We got a lot of stuff in for that chapter, not just plot related, but like character stuff too. Ultimately, these two chapters are kind of like climax chapters in a sense, where we've been building up, not like climbs of the entire route, But I mean, like, you have a bunch of stuff that bubbles and that piles, and then there's like a pop, right? And then something happens. So both of these two chapters were like a culmination of a lot of things that were kind of inevitable, right? So in Felix's case, Dev, do you want to talk a little bit about, you know, why those events had to happen now, and like what was the importance of the timing regarding these things happening?
Yeah. So this has been like really exciting for me as a writer because oh my gosh, it's been like 2 years, I think, since I first kind of came up with the outlines for the characters in general. And I was really looking forward to writing this chapter, to be honest. It's so big for Felix. And so basically, yeah, he died.
Yeah,
Sorry,
he
y'all.
died.
He killed Felix.
Oops.
It was bound to happen. Look, you meet Felix within 5 minutes of meeting you. He tells MC, "I've died a couple of times." So
Yeah.
it was kind of bound to happen. He's someone who throws himself into a lot of dangerous situations, sometimes without thinking about the consequences. And I'm sure he'll be fine, right? Even though he's never been blasted before. But yeah, basically, as we mentioned before, these roots are going to be 16 chapters long, so we're really getting into the heat of it. And with Felix, we've seen him go through, I think, kind of confronting a lot of his like problems. He's someone who's really hung up on the past in a lot of different ways, and
Yeah.
he's finally starting to like address that and deal with it and maybe move past it a little bit. So, this is kind of the ultimate way of confronting your past by dying horribly at the hands of your dad.
Yeah.
Oh my
By
gosh.
the way,
That's
we do
great.
not suggest this as a general method for confronting your past. Therapy
Yeah,
is much
no.
better than
Yeah,
necromancy.
do therapy, radical therapy, right here.
Honestly, all of our characters need heavy doses of therapy. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, so Felix has died a couple times. But you know, what do you think was different about Felix dying this time? Like, Felix as a character changed a lot. So I remember we had a conversation about kind of his character progression leading up to this point. So he was tied to the past, he's all that kind of stuff. Especially, he has a very strained relationship with his dad, right? So, and it's ironic because, right, like you said, he dies at the hands of Eskel. So what kind of was the relationship progression there? How significant is how the relationship shifts in this chapter and the previous chapter? Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so what we kind of saw was after after Felix, I just want to talk about Rhyme. I'm pivoting.
Yeah.
So after Felix had this conversation with Florian, it kind of gave him a bit to think about how he deals with his father and in general his family, to be honest, because he's got two kind of pushy people in his family who like to tell him what to do. And I feel like it's one of those families where they spend the whole card trip arguing very loudly, while MC is just there like, oh, this is awkward. But basically, I think that Felix is starting to really reconsider how he approaches things. Problems, his family, how he deals with his skill, and maybe understanding that their relationship doesn't have to be necessarily on Eskel's terms, like he's got some say in that. And so we kind of see him in this previous chapter start to assert himself more, start to hang less on I know he says he doesn't care what Eskel thinks, but that's obviously not true. Like,
Yeah.
it's very important to him what his father thinks about him, and he's really reconsidering that.
Right. What about Eskel? So I know a lot of people were like questioning, does Eskel actually care about Felix, etc. Like, in this chapter, how do you think Eskel took Felix's character change, and how do you think that affected his decision at the end of the chapter to try and kill MC?
So, I mean, irregardless of how Felix acted this chapter, he always would have chosen MC. Like, Eskel is someone who is very cold, but as he says himself, he's done everything he has for his family. Family is first
Yeah.
for him. And so he's actually done all these honestly terrible things because he thinks it'll protect them and keep them safe. And it's the only way that he knows to express his love in a lot of ways. He's really messed up, So the change in this chapter, though, is that he is seeing Felix assert himself, stand up for himself more, not just like argue back, and they argue back and forth and don't get anywhere. And like that could be a path to him actually respecting him, which is huge for someone like Eskel. Unfortunately, he had to make this choice. He had no way of knowing that Felix was gonna, kind of get in the way of that choice.
Yeah, and he didn't hesitate at all. Like that. I feel like that's a very important thing. Is that as soon as LOS gave him the choice, he was like, it's not even a question. There's no way I'm gonna hurt Felix at all. Even though hurt is like. He has like been mean to Felix in the past, but like he would never do anything outright malicious,
No.
So he just turns on MC immediately. There's not hesitation. There's no hesitation there, and I think that's pretty important because it's very telling in that way that he does care a lot about Felix. It's just he is very wayward and messy and flawed as a character too.
Yeah, he's a really complicated guy, and sorry, MC, but. MC is not family. He doesn't really know them. There is no contest.
Yeah. But we have. Mr. Bunn said in chat, we didn't get the reactions to the death either. Like it was a very hard cliffhanger where we don't know how the characters reacted because we have a lot of characters in the room, as Felix beats it. So. Do you have any? It's like has Rhyme seen Felix die before or what? Like, are they used to seeing this sight? Is it? Eskel's probably gonna have some reaction to accidentally killing his own son, right? So that's gonna be something to look forward to. But what about Rhyme? Since Rhyme has known Felix for a while, do you have any like backstory about that, or is it spoiler territory?
We're getting into spoiler territory a little bit because, we will continue the next chapter, picking right off where we left. That said, no, he's never seen Felix die. When we say that Felix has died a couple of times, we're talking about when he was about 5 years old and he fell down the stairs and broke his neck. That kind of gets referenced, I believe, in Felix chapter 9. They talk about that a little bit. And also, he's like had a couple of times, kind of like we saw before, where he can induce this kind of shallow form of like almost unconsciousness, almost like being in a coma, in order to essentially the necromancer version of astral projecting, which is leaving his body, but his body is still alive. He's never, actually just been flat out killed in this manner. So I imagine that Rhyme is not going to take it great, especially considering how he feels about Felix and all the links he's gone through also to protect Felix.
Yeah, it feels like, in general, one of the things that Felix is constantly battling in his route is, like, everyone wants to keep him safe, but he's also like, let me live my life,
That's your Felix voice.
Papa, let me live my life.
I love that Felix voice.
So good.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is someone who, maybe throws his life away a little easily, because he is a necromancer, because he is someone that, for him, death is not something to be feared. And as we've kind of heard before, and as Rhyme has also mentioned, there is an afterlife. It's not a spoiler. There is another world called the Void beyond what we see. And, interesting place.
Interesting place. All right, so I figure, is there anything else you want to talk about regarding like Felix 10, or should we move on to Sage? Like, this is your opportunity, Dev.
His dead sprite is so good. Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, the dead sprite.
Is
Y'all,
so
were you
good.
expecting to see dead Felix on screen? It is so funny. Not funny. I mean, it's sad, but like,
it's pretty funny.
I'm not gonna show the sprite on screen just in case people have like muted us. I don't want people to accidentally see something, but like, yeah, and the dead sprite was really good, honestly. Sal, you did a really good job giving him no life whatsoever in his eyes. Very painful.
Great job.
Great
Thank
job.
I felt he was dead.
I really got the idea that he was dead.
I mean, that expression really captures how I feel every Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's from life, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Do you want to say anything else about Felix 10, Dev?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I hope people really enjoyed the juicy choice of Rhyme because I went a little overboard.
Oh yeah, this is one of the chapters that really used the Rhyme variable. So, depending on your choices in the past, I think a lot of the chapters with a lot of that chapter with rhyme can be read differently, right?
Yeah, his reactions are very much dependent on how you've been treating him. Honestly, ever since he's shown up, we've been keeping track of that, and
Mhm.
it's going to continue. Yeah, like I just really wanted to give people, because I know that there's a lot of people who really like Rhyme. Maybe he's divisive. I don't know. I can't see past my own biases. I love him. So,
There
so,
are
yeah, I
people who
wanna-
want to punch him in the face. Like, so you're either like punch
Um,
me in the face, or I'm gonna punch you in the face, right?
Or you're
So-
both.
Yeah, I'm
There's
both.
no
I
reason
don't-
no reason
I'm
not to do
both.
both.
Yeah, we
Right,
can punch
right.
each other out all day. But I also don't know. I don't know about anyone here gathered, but I added a lot to that scene after the final draft that y'all saw. So
Wait, really?
I just went a little overboard. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's great.
I have to go play it.
Yeah, we have to go play it now. I wonder what you put in there.
Don't worry about it. But yeah, thank y'all so much also for reading Felix chapter 10. And yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
awesome.
glad.
I'm glad that we could hurt you in this way. It was so fun. We were so excited. I was like, I can't wait for people to hate us after a cliffhanger. But don't worry, there's
No,
gonna be
I was
more.
like, I'm so sorry.
You're not sorry. You're not even
I'm
a little
not.
sorry.
Not at all.
But okay, cool. I guess this is a good opportunity to talk about Sage 11. So now we're gonna transition to Sage 11. I'm gonna change. Okay, it changed. Awesome. I'm so good at this. Now the spoiler warning is Sage 11. We're gonna talk about Sage 11, the more recent chapter that came out. People are still talking about it because it's pretty messed up what happened in the last chapter, huh? So what were your guys' reactions to? Yeah, you have some feelings. You got some feelings. You got messed up. How? You're screaming at your phone. You cried. Still
I
crying.
don't know, it's so bad, guys.
Graham's betrayal sprite was so good. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, CL knocked it out of the park there.
Mhm.
Big ups to Graham.
Yeah, yeah. You guys were a lot of you were like, I love Graham. He's so nice. And we were
Oh no.
I laughed so hard when we posted his profile, and some people were like, he's single though. I was just like, you're not gonna be saying that for long.
yeah. Oh my god,
mean,
yeah.
Some of you from very early on though were like, no, this wizard is full of
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Some of you guys have good intuition, but some of you guys
Yeah,
were like, oh my god, Gilf. Remember?
I mean, you know,
No.
he can be both. He can be a gilf and you can want to kick his ass, so
Yeah.
True. Yeah. I have a question for you, Grace.
Yeah.
Writing Graham in a way that like makes him seem trustworthy, and also, were you like trying at all to hint at the fact that he might not be trustworthy while you're writing him?
Yeah, like how would I sum up the ethos for writing him? Bad Saruman cosplayer. Is maybe the summary. Where like insofar as you might I want to write Graham where you could, depending on how suspicious you were of him, kind of see evidence for both, right? Because on one hand, everyone reacts very warmly to him when he first reappears in Sage's Route. On the other hand, he does have some tells in like the way that he behaves and the way that he treats everybody. So you could read it either way, but there were the clues sort of tossed in there very early on. Like there was one paid choice where if you play cards with him, he doesn't say very much and he doesn't give anything away, and he spends the whole card game trying to prod other people into mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I personally didn't trust him from the moment that Rhyme disliked him. Wonderful judge of character.
Yeah, if you're a rhyme simp, sure.
What
can roll
would you just call me?
I thought you heard.
Yeah, I mean, some people knew, some people didn't. I think, yeah, Grace, you did a killer job writing this guy. You know, I think the desire, especially for the Starsworn, like, considering everything they've been through, they want to have, like, a kind of, I want to say, like, a father figure. They want to have someone to rely on, you know, just like in the old times before the war. There's probably a lot of camaraderie there. But for some reason, Sage didn't have that reaction when he met Graham. Do you want to talk about that at all, Grace?
Yeah, Sage is in a bit of a different position from the other Starsworn from the get-go. Like, he talks about it in chapter 10 after you sort of yank him out of his really horrible nightmare. But he does not join the Starsworn for the same reasons as Felix and Anissa. He joins because he is recruited specifically by Graham to keep an eye on his old buddies. And obviously, that setup, just to start with, immediately produces a conflict of loyalty for Sage. Because on one hand, he's got his old friends who, he really genuinely trusts and likes, and there's a lot of warmth between him and Lucan. And on the other hand, he's got the Starsworn, who are sort of these new friends, and he's got some of the Starsworn telling him, like, well, maybe your old buddies are up to some shady stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that particular conflict of loyalty, because of how Sage kind of ran out after the Battle of Mournfall and because of how things went with Lucan, it never really gets resolved. And so he's got that kind of festering in the background, like hanging out in the back of his mind this entire time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think it's actually really interesting that you bring that up, because Sage's loyalty is such a complicated issue for him, because when he first showed up, everyone's accusing him of being like, you abandoned us, you ran away, and as we found out, it was more complicated than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up when you think about it. Like, there's everyone around him thinks that he stabbed him in the back, right? Like, there's no person that is chill with Sage, except for like Tulsi, right?
Right.
In the very beginning. Yeah.
I mean, even she did yell at him.
Well, she did yell at him, but like for different reasons than like everyone else.
Right.
Everyone else's reasons were like, you betrayed us, right? Like you fled, you ran away, or like you turned on us. Those are much more visceral reactions to someone, especially if they weren't his intention, right? Or he felt like he had no intention.
Yeah, I don't think like Sage in his heart of hearts ever really intended to like betray anybody or run out on them. In a lot of ways, it's a tragedy of circumstance, and in some ways, it's obviously the pressures of like the Lord of Shadows being around, the griefers getting kind of caught up with it, like the circumstances are really kind of working against him. But there's also a degree of poor judgment right there, right? Like people's choices do play a role in how things turn out, and I don't think anybody who's around in kind of the original setup with like the griefers kind of running rampant and the Lord of Shadows causing all these problems, like I don't think anybody was really in a position to make very good choices.
Yeah. That's so sad. But like,
That's really sad.
Yeah.
I think another interesting thing about Sage too is that, he's trying his best, but I feel like Sage has always been this 2 steps forward. Wait, no, two steps forward, 4 steps backwards. He's just not moving.
Yeah.
But basically when it comes to stuff like, for example, his corruption and the kind of darkness that he really struggles with, and it's always this balancing act with him in that, he wants to be trustworthy, he wants to be there, he wants to be strong, but at the same time he unintentionally pushes people away.
Yeah, I think there's like a huge gulf between kind of his intentions, like I was saying earlier, what he would like to be, and his actions, like how it actually turns out. Some of that is because he doesn't always think things through, and some of it is genuinely not his fault, but like it's just kind of a hot mess between the two.
Yeah, Little Rowdy Boy has a good comment, which is like, it's like the loyalties is a big thing with him because he feels morally gray regarding where his loyalties lie, but he doesn't want to be, right? So that's a really interesting thing to like delve into. Is he comes across as a very morally gray mercenary, but like a question of like, is that really what he wanted? Like, does he want to be a morally gray person? I think that's really compelling to think about.
Yeah, I think it's kind of telling that his relic is Zenith, and Zenith primarily appears to people who want to fulfill that protector role, who want to look after their friends and family, who want to be able to sort of like guard against the darkness, that kind of thing. Like, to me, at least for Sage, Zenith is kind of the aspirational part of him, like what he would really like to be.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the reasons that, like, when Rhyme first showed up in Sage's route, he makes a kind of a crack about that, where he's like, I still can't believe this idiot's the one who got Zenith. Like, Zenith really chose this guy? It should have been Rhyme.
Rhyme was like, I should have gotten all the relics.
He should have gotten all the relics.
Every single relic should go to Rhyme. He just sits on top of them like a dragon.
So then...
Look, he's got one for each outfit.
I guess we should talk about... we're getting close to the end of the stream, because we don't want to go too long. But I do want to finish talking about like the big beats that happened in Sage 11. So in particular, Graham's betrayal, and that final confrontation with Sage and what happened to Sage. Can you walk us through a little bit of like what it was like to kind of build up to that moment?
So that was probably the hardest thing to write in the entire chapter. I've known that that was going to happen basically since I started helping out with editorial on Last Legacy and with like some of the early concepts of it. So like that's been in the back of my head for a while. Um, but it wound up being really hard to write in practice because there were a lot of moving pieces. There was Graham, there was Sage, there were the corrupted kind of like all around you. And what wound up making it a lot better was actually one of Lulu's suggestions, which was to really just hone in on the important part, which is Graham and Sage, the moment of betrayal, and that moment where Sage realizes kind of the awful truth of what has happened.
Yeah, like from that moment, as soon as you know Graham is not what he has presented as, like everything just goes to poo, right? Like,
Yeah.
like it just that's poo hits the fan. And at that moment, like, you know, we get things just go out of control in the sense that Graham tries to beef MC, and then Sage the only thing that he wants to do is protect MC, right? So
Yeah, and he's not able to do it. We don't even give him the opportunity to because he gets injured in the process, which was particularly cruel, I think, from Sage's perspective.
yeah.
Yeah. That Sprite though. That Sprite's so good.
Oh yeah,
Such a sexy sprite.
people in the chat are talking about the Sprite. The Sprite is one of the most amazing things in the game because we have never seen anything like that before. Ciel, what were you thinking when you were trying to make that Sprite for Sage?
Well, basically, like, I don't know. When I read these chapters, sometimes I can like really picture something in my mind, and I was like, I have to make it Sage look like really heartbroken and like like really upset. So yeah, I just tried my best to like help like sell that like moment that Grace wrote.
Yeah, this was a chapter where a lot was leaning on the art, because Graham's like expression changed the moment that he turns and you realize he's a bad guy, and then Sage's new sprite, like those, I was leaning really hard on like those two moments to kind of sell the chapter, and CL delivered.
Nailed it.
It was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
This
guess
scene
you
was
could
really
say.
good.
I guess you could say it's a bullseye. Anyways. Yeah, Graham's expression was really good. Well, like I said, for me, even playing it, I mean, I read all the script drafts, I see it on the whips and stuff, but when you play the chapter, like, you never see that kind of expression, and like, especially on Sage. Sage is so, you know, smiley, and like, you're used to seeing him with his like wolfish, like smarmy smirk, like, it just really hits when you see him like that, so, but you don't get the chance to figure out if he's okay, right?
Well, I mean, there's another, you know, we're going up
in
to
the
chapter
chapter.
16, but
In the
yeah.
chapter, right, you don't get a chance to see if he's okay because you get,
You
something
get
else.
punted.
yeah, you get punted.
I mean, it would have been worse if you had stayed, if you had not been punted. I don't think that would have gone terribly well for you with whatever spell Graham was casting. But yeah, you're back in the hotel. You're back in your normal cosplayer life. So you did make it back to Earth, but probably not in the way that you wanted to.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, the game's over.
Yeah, what a
That's what
best
everybody
end.
wanted, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, totally.
Wasn't it fun? Yeah, great.
Was that a
All
great
right,
tip?
let's
My
pack
pitch
it
is
up. Let's
that
go
the
home.
rest, the rest
Yep.
of the route is just MC playing the Last Legacy video game.
Yeah, you're totally fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, what we wanted to lean on a little bit was like the thing with an isekai is that no one actually wants to go back to their like
No.
boring life on Earth.
Right.
So
So then I have one more question before you can basically talk about whatever you want to talk about. My question is kind of something we already touched upon briefly, which is more about Sage's character. Leading up to this chapter, Sage undergoes a lot of character development in the same way that like Felix does for Felix's chapter. Do you want to talk about how MC has helped Sage grow leading up to this point, and what we might want to expect in the future chapters without saying spoilers?
yeah. So I think since we talked about like Sage's past earlier and his divided loyalties, one thing that really helps with MC early on is that they're a stranger, right? This isn't someone who has the same baggage that the rest of the Starsworn do or that the Griefers do. This is someone new, who can kind of be a clean slate for Sage to sort of start over. And he doesn't do a very good job of that at first. Like, I love him. He's super fun in chapter 1, but I wouldn't say he gives off a great professional impression.
Yeah.
He's kind of a hot mess.
Yeah.
But like I think, really the turning point is that he keeps expecting, I think, MC to bail at some point, to sort of decide that he's no good and that he's going to betray them like all the others. And you just don't, right? You stick with him in spite of seeing everything that other people judge him for and that he judges himself for. And that kind of comes to a head in chapter 10, when you see kind of the guiltiest, most horrible moment in his life, and you don't turn away. Instead, you reach out to him and give him some, genuine empathy for that.
Yeah, that's a huge point in like the MC Sage relationship.
Yeah, so I think, it does give him hope that he doesn't have to be stuck in this box that he's kind of put himself into and that other people have kind of pigeonholed him into. He can be better and he can do better. Even if he messes it up, even if he doesn't get it right the first time.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
interesting because, like, for me, some of the, like, as a reader myself, like, Sage's character was so frustrating in the beginning, and if I were playing the game with a blank slate, Sage would not be my choice for like a love interest. But seeing it develop over in the chapters and seeing how your patience pays off and like how he becomes more vulnerable was really interesting. Yeah, like it made me think like, yeah, characters like this deserve the patience and they can change and all that.
Ika, I think that you just don't appreciate cat boys.
It might be that too. Yeah.
You just don't want someone, leaving hairballs all over your shoes.
Look, the appeal of a cat boy is that they're gonna be tearing up all your stuff, and you're just like, you accept it because they're cute.
Yeah, you're just like, I just got to clean out that litter box every day.
He's really growing on me.
Hairballs.
Yeah. I think that's all really compelling, and like the idea that he can be a better person with MC is really compelling, like especially if he thinks that as long as he's with MC everything's gonna be fine, and in this last chapter everything was not fine. So it'll be pretty it'll be pretty interesting to see what changes moving forward. Grace, do you have anything else you want to talk about regarding Sage 11 or just like Sage in general? What it was like to build up to this? Any thoughts?
The only thought I have right now is that I'm super excited for chapter 12, and all of you should be too. It's going to be a barn burner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, chapter 12 is going to be really good. So we are very, very, very excited about it, and so we hope that you will also be excited about it. So awesome. Cool. So I feel like we're going to stop talking about spoilers here. So please, I'm going to take off the spoiler warnings. No more spoilers in chat if possible. And I think we're going to start to close out the stream. So final look at the beautiful, beautiful art that Hika and Ciel have done. This poop looks really good.
This poop. Wow.
Okay, it looks dope. It looks super sick. It looks dope. You guys are so talented. I'm in love. But yeah, one final look at what you guys have done. I wish I had Rhyme's legs.
I just wish I had Rhyme.
Yeah, you just wish you had Rhyme in general. Will these be posted when finished? Yes, we will post them, so don't worry about it. Cool, and then Hiko, you started drawing Anissa, which is awesome. But yeah, I don't know if we'll finish Anissa, but we'll definitely post the whip.
Oh, I'm gonna finish it.
Oh, you're gonna finish it?
Gonna.
Sounds like a threat. I'm gonna finish her.
I love the pose that you put Anissa in.
It's so cute.
Yeah. And then do you want to do one last look at Felix and Sage?
Yeah.
Wow. They're so good.
They're so pointy. Look at those pointy toofs.
These pointy teeth boys.
Two cute
Yeah,
boys.
they're really, really good.
They're so cute.
Yeah, Loa is, again, make sure you give Loa lots of love because these designs are killer. But yeah, okay, cool. We're gonna transition off of the drawing slide, so we're gonna go back to chatting. Here we go.
Yo.
No. Alright. But yeah, that's it. That's kind of all we had planned. It's a little bit longer stream than our first one, but we just had so much stuff to get through. We wanted to answer as many questions as possible and also do kind of like a talk about the chapters, which we haven't done before. I thought that was kind of fun, right?
Yeah.
It was
it was-
torture.
It was torture.
Everyone loves reliving death, and
Suffering.
Torture
it's not a
mostly
problem.
for the audience listening to me talk about rhyme all day.
It's really cool. I mean, like, the fact of the matter is that this is a new experience for us, and us building out Last Legacy with the community and with you guys is the best part about being on this team. So anytime that we can talk about the chapter with you, or just show you the art or show you the concept art is like personally my favorite part. So thank you so much for being a part of the community, for playing Last Legacy, for joining us today. It was very, very fun.
Thanks for
Right?
reading, everyone. Like,
Thank
seriously, like,
you.
honestly, yeah, half the fun of this is, just seeing all of y'all like react to the chapters and the art, and that really, I don't know about the other people on this call, but like, they might hate it. But no, like, really, it's encouraging. Like, sometimes I don't know, like, this is a very collaborative thing, but it can be really, I don't know, lonely in a way, creating the individual pieces of this. So really seeing it that it makes an impact on people is like, I can't overstate like how fantastic and I don't know how encouraging it is.
Yeah.
I think
Do you
in
guys
general,
think you'll do more of these like end of chapter streams in the future at some point?
I mean, if people like them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, like,
yeah.
if you guys hated it and don't want to listen to us gloat, that's fine. But if you liked it, let us know and we'll do more of it.
If you would like a rhyme fan club, please let me know on Twitter.
That was like, I am
Dev
the president.
infiltrates every rhyme fan club.
Infiltrates, I started it.
Yeah. I feel like it's cool to give you guys backstory, like not just about the characters, but like the process. I know a lot of people are curious about what it's like to make a chapter and that kind of stuff. So talking about writing, talking about characters, art, I always find that really interesting. Even me on the team. So hopefully you guys think it's interesting too. But yeah, cool. Like I said earlier, I know there was a gap in the releases recently, but we do have a lot of stuff coming out soon. So keep an eye out in the next few weeks. Not just chapters, but also other stuff. And then also keep an eye out for the Halloween charms. Give Loa love, and then there will be more news about that soon, TM. So yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you again, everyone. I hope you have a really, really good weekend. Thank you so much for hanging out. And we'll catch you next time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Bye.